Growing up, I used to feel bad for the kid across the street who was an only child. I always had my brother, Jack. We shared a large bedroom, slept in separate beds, obviously, and seemed to do pretty much everything together. I wouldn't say we were super close or anything, but we did used to battle with our toys, set up fun scenarios with our teddies, watch films and TV together, and of course played what our grandparents called video games as a duo. The kid across the street, directly opposing our house, was all alone. At least, that's how I saw it. Gaming on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2 played a large part in my childhood, and a lot of my fondest memories were capturing the command posts in Star Wars Battlefront, making sure that we carried our entire squad to the end of every single mission no matter how difficult or upsetting, in Conflict Desert Storm, and trying to get through Medal of Honor Rising Sun's campaign together. I felt fortunate to have a sibling, and even more fortunate to have split-screen gaming as an option at all. But the kid across the road didn't get that experience. He did own a games console, and he did actually have some great games as well. I mean, now that I mention it, I think he was the one that actually introduced me to Grand Theft Auto as a kid, at the grand old age of 7 years old. Oh yes. He did used to live with his mum, who was a single parent at the time, though she never really came across as the type to really want to play games or even try them for that matter. So my impression of his home life was that he was stuck in his single bedroom sobbing over his barely playable PlayStation 2 console. Oh dear. It wasn't until I got older and found myself with another young brother that I began to understand that, despite what I'd thought as a kid, growing up as an only child can be fine. More than fine, actually. I mean, like, with myself and my brother Jack having moved out of the family home a few years back to pointlessly pursue a university degree, that little brother has been left to grow up alone. He'd even reached the ages to be able to play and appreciate small games, and now even has an Xbox 360 of his very own. To be fair, he did used to just play those cheap and nasty free, in quotation marks, racing games via an Amazon TV stick before getting to that point, so he might not be the best example for this video, but he does seem more than happy to be playing those games alone, so there's that. However, whenever we do return for a visit, we are bombarded by requests to play with him in local multiplayer split screen. So perhaps he wasn't all that fine playing by himself all along and has just been cooking up, desperate to play with a fellow human being again, and again, and again. I do think that local multiplayer grants access to a different level of fun for gamers, a level that cannot really be obtained through playing alone. It is curious then as to why local multiplayer has seen such a noticeable disappearance in recent years. I do understand that the industry's got an obsession with, graphics and all that, and that, does hinder the possibility of a lot of games getting split screen mode implemented, but I just find it sad that gone are the days of arguing over which side of the TV screen to stay within when escaping the 4-star police in San Andreas, or even the practical ability to reach over and intimidate your fellow friend in real life for not understanding that camping in Call of Duty is not a skillful way to play the game. I mean, sure, online gaming has become more and more of a thing in the past few decades, but even that, as magical as it may seem, just doesn't fill in that gap left by the recent absence of split-screen gaming. Even with the unique opportunity to play GTA Online with someone living in France, I always have my microphone off and everyone else on mute. I just don't feel comfortable with that certain level of social interaction whilst gaming. I mean, even when I know the person in real life, I still avoid them when playing my games, and that's not for any other reason than me just being weird. I just don't get that when being able to play with a bunch of friends all sitting in the same room staring at the same screen. I guess it's just one of those odd preferences. Fortunately though, and despite all the claims that local multiplayer is in fact dead, that just isn't the case. It may be a feature lacking from the majority of AAA titles these days, but there is an absolute ton of genuinely fun and engaging independent games out there. I mean, even I've made a video about it in the past about my top 5 party games, and seriously, I still find myself playing those very games with friends to this very night. For example, we try to have a games night once every few weeks, and it's a great thing. You get together, get food and drink, and sit down to enjoy around 9 hours straight of interchanging local multiplayer fun. It's great. I mean, I doubt this whole thing is just down to nostalgia or something. I mean, I couldn't imagine enjoying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch as much without its local multiplayer option, for example. I mean, sure, there's online, but again, playing in the same room just evokes that special kind of fun. In fact, I do actually get pretty bored when playing alone in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe versus these pesky little AI bots. All of this does get me wondering though, had I grown up as an only child, my favourite single player games from those days such as Freedom Fighters, Psyops, and even Splinter Cell might have meant that extra little bit to me now. I mean, I still love them and they still mean a great deal to me, but Battlefront has 2-player battles. You know, this is actually where I think nowadays, only child kids benefit from the luxury of online gameplay. If it was back in the day, Battlefront and Conflict Desert Storm would no longer require my brother. In fact, I probably wouldn't require him either. Not when I have the entire world of Battlefront fans at my grasp. I could make new friends out of the experiences online and even play with that Jimmy kid I once met or something, you know? I mean, I don't actually know Jimmy, but you get the point. If I had online play growing up, I'm sure I'd probably have been fine. But the thing is, we didn't have internet growing up. And if I didn't have my brother, I wouldn't have even had that online option. So this does get me asking myself today, would I have even loved games as much as I did back then? Would I have even spent as much time on my PS2 without the co-op games in the first place? I might have spent more time outside, or even more time creating my very own weird and terrible short stories. Who knows? And you know what else? I might have even gotten into those games that I simply just missed out on as a kid, such as Resident Evil, Spyro, and even Smarty's Meltdown. Just kidding. I did actually play that one.